Hey, it's Jen, Bitch in a Hurry, Not So Mystical Tarot, and this is a reading just for the general community, for all of the people that are watching, for the week of November 12th. And November 7th, last week, we had a new moon in Scorpio, which was, the whole theme was like transformation through forgiveness. And if you missed that, the energy is still there. You can still work with that and figure out what it is that you need to do to kind of transform your life and who you need to forgive, whether it's yourself, most often that's the case, or someone else. But either way, even if it is someone else, you usually have to forgive yourself for allowing the someone else to cause you pain. So if you did not see those videos, each sign has a video for the new moon in Scorpio on November 7th. So if you missed that, take a look at your sun, moon, and or rising sign, or all three, because sometimes people identify differently with some of the different signs. So anyways, we're going to see what's going on just in general for this week of November 12th. I am working on some videos for the full moon that's coming up in Gemini, so that will be very interesting. That's November 23rd, though. There are videos up for all of the signs on my channel for November 1st through the 15th and November 15th through the 30th, as well as the Scorpio new moon. Each sign has its own individual reading. You may want to go back and watch, like if you watched the November one when it came out in the end of October, you might want to go back and watch the beginning of November one and see what resonates with you, because oftentimes you watch them and then you forget what was said and you don't remember. Other thing I suggest too is also keeping your calendar near you, and when something sort of strikes you, writing it down in there, because it will help you to remember the things to look for during that time period. You can find me on Instagram at Bitch in a Hurry, or you can find me at bitchinahurry.com. I did have a Halloween special, 31% off every one of my readings, and that was really productive and awesome, so thank you guys. I still have like 18 or 19% off. I just kept a little sale kind of going, because in case you missed it, I wanted to make sure, we're just going to take all four of those, why not? In case you missed it, I wanted to make sure that you are still able to have a little bit of a deal. So that's on the website. That's always on there. And I have really enjoyed doing the personal readings. So to everybody who asked for one, thank you. All right. So what is the general feeling going on for the week of the 12th of November? Okay. We'll take those. Let's just get one more card. You know what? Maybe we'll wait, and at the end we'll get one more. I'm sorry about this weird patch of sun, but I like to use the natural light, because in New York we don't get a lot of that. So enjoy the sunshine while it's here, right? All right. We start out, you're working really hard on something, and maybe you have taken advantage of that new moon in Scorpio that was on November 7th, and you've been working hard. You're not seeing the results yet, though. So like you're thinking, does anybody notice? Does anybody care? Does it even matter? But it does, because look down here. You're doing all this work. You're not really seeing the results because you're looking up here. But if you look down here, look at that. There's something growing down there. Something is happening. So don't despair. Don't think all this work is for nothing and it's just a waste of your time, because something is happening down here. Something's starting to grow. And I think for anyone who was able to bestow that forgiveness either upon themselves or upon someone else, you're going to be able to have this opportunity for a new beginning, a new way that you can open yourself up emotionally and be able to receive maybe a new relationship, maybe a redefining of a relationship that you did have that was maybe marred by the fact that you needed to forgive someone for something, or forgive yourself for something that you did to someone else. You're able to start fresh and new. You're able to have a new perspective on this relationship, and you're able to open yourself up to truly be able to feel the love and the joy that this relationship has for you. So already it sounds like a pretty good week, right? And then here we have a message from the Page of Pentacles. It's kind of dark, isn't it? We have a message from the Page of Pentacles, and you see the owl down here. Pentacles, we're talking everyday practical life. No woo-woo, just your everyday practical life here. And this is a message for you regarding that practical life. Something is coming your way, and you're going to be able to make the decision whether you want to take advantage of this or whether it isn't right for you. But you will have solid state of mind and a solid wisdom to know if this is practically worth it for you, or if this is something that's just better left alone. But you will know what you should do here. And next we have the Queen of Pentacles. So it looks like you're going to make the right decision here. You're progressing from the Page to the Queen. You're going to make the right decision here, and it won't take you long either. You'll know right away when this comes through, because you're going to have this owl. You have this owl here, which says that you have wisdom and a strong, intelligent mind, and so that right away you will know this is right or this is wrong. And whatever you decide about this is going to give you this feeling of the Queen of Pentacles, very rooted down, very stable, very loving, very much in control of your environment, and very much standing in your own power without needing to hold on to anybody else for that. The next thing we have is the Lovers card. So I really do think that this forgiveness maybe that you've been working on, whether it's yourself or someone else, is going to be able to help you grow in your other relationships. And this can be not just romantic. This can be personal relationships with people that you're very, very close to. But that forgiveness is going to be able to help you grow in those relationships. And that's only going to make you feel more fulfilled, more grounded, more rooted down, more like you're doing the right thing, more like you made the right decision when the opportunity presented itself, okay? Now, it looks like midweek there's going to be something happening. Someone kind of comes in with some kind of nonsense. We have this we have this Seven of Wands here, which is just conflict. And it's conflict like a tug of war, where like it goes this way, that way. Nothing ever gets solved. Nothing ever comes of it. It's just conflict, back and forth, with no resolution and no clear purpose, no objective. So when this shows up, and it will, you're just going to want to kind of steer away from that. Then the card that you have immediately following is the Judgment card. So when a conflict comes up, or a situation that makes you kind of, I don't know if that's okay, you're going to bring this right to judgment and decide immediately, is this for me? Is this not for me? Do I need to get involved with this? Or is this not part of what I have going on? And, you know, still having the wise judgment here from the Page of Pentacles in those messages, you're going to be able to bring that right to judgment and decide, okay, I need to get involved in this, or you know what, this is not for me. I'm going to back away. One thing I'd like to caution you about too is to be swift with this decision. You have the Five of Swords here, and this can be like ruminating over something, analyzing something just to death, where it just makes no difference which way you go, because you've wasted so much time on it already. You might as well have participated. That's this. So you're going to want to make a swift decision. You're going to want to come right in, make a swift decision, and you know, whether you decide that you want to get involved in this, if you have to, you have to. But if you can avoid it, I would say bring it to judgment. See that it's a waste of your time and makes no sense, and back right away. Don't get mired up here with this Five of Swords energy, where you just get all stuck in your head and you're just wasting time, because that is not going to get you anywhere. It may be difficult to do this, because I feel like whatever this is kind of personal and sort of something that you're going to have a hard time walking away from. It may be like your sister and your mom are fighting, or your boss and a colleague that you really like are arguing, or they are not seeing eye to eye and they're trying to put you in the middle. It's going to be something sticky like that. Like, it may be something that's hard to just, not for me, without doing or saying the wrong thing for you, you know. So you're going to have to make that swift and smart decision. Don't mull it over for 100 years, because it's just going to be a waste of your time, and it's going to confuse you as far as the outcome. You have the wisdom right here to know what you need to do. You don't need to mull it over forever and ever. The next card we have here is the Hanged Man, which says look at things from a different perspective. And that may be the case, especially if this is something personal that comes to your attention that you feel drawn into. Look from a different perspective. Use your objective mind and look at it completely from the outside. That's what I love the Hanged Man, because it says, wait a minute, back it up, look at this from the totally opposite side. And I think then you will be able to use your objective mind much more clearly, and you'll be able to see much more clearly what it is you need to get involved with and what it is you need to go, no thank you, this is not for me. I strongly feel that there's some sort of situation on its way that's just, like I said, a waste of your time. You have other really important stuff going on. I mean, like right here, you're working and you got something growing down here, and you want to feed that. So don't feed this conflict when it comes to where you're going to expend your energy and your time. Don't make it for conflict, and just everyday, nonsense, mundane nonsense. Let's get one more card here, and we're going to kind of round out this week and see how things are going to go. I will be interested to hear how you are doing with that new moon in Scorpio energy that was on the 7th. Like I said, that energy is going to continue. So if you missed that whole new moon in Scorpio, find your sun, moon, or rising and watch that. There's videos for all of the signs. So find that and watch it and see if you can make some progress yourself toward that forgiveness. And no matter who you are, we all have things that we need to forgive ourselves or others for. We all harbor stuff and, stuff, junk, whatever. I ended up with 3 extra cards because that's how we do things here. You do have the 5 of Cups, which says this is a personal thing that's going to come up, that's going to try to draw you in. And dealing with it from this practical standpoint it's going to be difficult when you bring it to judgment, and you may feel bad for not getting involved with this usual drama, conflict, and nonsense that you might have been drawn into previously. But that is something that you don't want to involve yourself in. So you may feel a little bit bad, but I want you to notice here you have these 2 bowls that have water in them still, and little fishies and everything. So all is not lost. You may feel in a very odd way. You may have a very odd feeling towards the situation, like maybe you can see how she's looking at this bowl, like maybe I'm letting people down, maybe I should just jump back in. She's looking, and it's curious too, she's looking at these little fish right here, and what does that say? We have the Ace of Cups here, where you open yourself up for something really important, something that's a progressive idea for you versus something that's a regressive idea for you. Is you have these fish, right? So I want you to try to, even though you are having the all is lost feeling, notice she's focusing on what is full. So there is hope here, and there is a chance for you to have something good come out of this weird conflict that's happening. And remember, you have this Lovers card too. There's some energy going on for healing, and that's what I think we want to look toward this week versus you've done the forgiving, and if you haven't, start that, but then now you're on to healing, and you're on to not exposing yourself to that old way of being anymore, so that you don't put yourself in all this conflict all the time, and you don't put yourself here in this 5 of Swords energy, this mulling over, incessant analyzing, and not getting anywhere. You want to just walk right away from that, have the different perspective of the Hanged Man here, and see it from outside, because it's like if somebody came to you with whatever the situation is, and it wasn't about you, you could be totally objective. Do it that way. See the story as how if someone's coming to you and saying this is what's going on, you'd be like, okay, do this, this, and this. Use your objective, smart mind. Now, the last couple things I want to show you, you have this 3 of Wands. You've come a long way. You've come a long way, and the future is right ahead of you. And look at that, like yellow, brand new. You are looking now toward the future. Like, okay, what's next? I've done all this stuff. I've dealt with all this stuff. What's next for me? What am I going to do now? It's in your hands. It's on you to make that decision. No one's going to decide for you, but realize that it's up to you. It's up to you to decide, where do we go from here, and make those plans, and don't be afraid to plan bigger than you think. And I want to show you this last card that came up is the 8 of Pentacles. So you started out here, right, with the 6, where you're doing all this work, and then there's this little thing growing, but you don't really see it. Well, now you have this 8 of Pentacles, which is a progression from the 6, and look at the beautiful work that the spider has done, right? Look at this beautiful work. And one thing I want to point out is that the spider is tiny, right? And they make this huge web. The spider can't really see this big, beautiful web that they make. They only see what's right in front of them. So, but you can see how beautiful the work is that they've created. That's what other people are seeing in you, because you're letting all this nonsense go. You're creating and you're working on something important to you. Other people are now starting to see this beautiful work that you are creating as well. You may not see it yet. I think that you don't. You may not quite see it yet. There may be a hint and a glimmer here and there, but other people are really noticing, wow, you're working hard on something, and I'm seeing, they're seeing results. They're seeing your progress. So even though you don't notice it yet, other people are starting to see it. And I want you to be encouraged because you do have that page, which is one more progression, right? You know, from the 8, now you have the page and you have the queen. So just know that as you move through this, you may only be to this point where you're like, maybe people say to you, hey, you know, I noticed you've been working on whatever, and wow, you're doing a great job, or what, and whatever. This could be anything. This could be working on your physical fitness. It could be working on a project at work. It could be working on your home organization, your family, working on, your kids' routines. It could be anything. But other people are now starting to go, they got themselves together. I like the progress that they're making. Other people are starting to see that, and that's going to make you feel really good too. Like, yeah, I do kind of have myself together. So all in all, it looks like a really great week. It looks like we may have a hiccup with this like 7 of Wands kind of nonsense, but that's okay because you have this Judgment card. You're going to be able to bring that straight to Judgment and go, is this worth me getting involved? Does this have anything to do with me? In other perspective, you're going to go, no, I'm not going to involve myself in this. I'm going to back away, and you're not going to feel bad about it. Just like if it was a situation that didn't concern you and someone brought it to you, you'd be able to back away and go, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Don't involve yourself. You're going to be able to say that to yourself as well. I can't wait to hear how everybody does this week. Have a great one.